going to be.
Right.
I don't think there's going to be any right, there are going to be right conclusions. There's not going to be any wrong, because this is an experiment. I didn't do this before, so I had no idea. I was doing it just like you guys were. Yes, ma'am.
I was the observer. Do I still have to write?
As long as somebody in your group has it written down, you're perfect. Okay? As long as somebody, you can all write it if you want to, but as long as one person in your group has everything written down. Oh. Chandler, you don't have to write it down. Yes. It's okay if everybody has it written down. As long as somebody does in your group. What did you guys find for your conclusion?
I'll leave that work copy.
Your work. Oh, perfect. Good. I like what this group is doing. They're taking the recorder's information and writing it in their own journals so that everybody has the same information. You don't have to write it word for word verbatim how the recorder has it. As long as you have something written down for a hypothesis and observation in your conclusion, I'm happy. So what was this group's hypothesis?
We thought that the soda would make the balloon get bigger.
Bigger than a Sprite? So is your conclusion correct? Yes. I think your group proved that one. What is this group's? What was your hypothesis?
Because it do better.
Because it do better? And what is your conclusion? You were right?
Well, we put the other group, I put the other group, so it got the largest hypothesis. I would possibly
Okay, guys. So, this group over here, tell me what your conclusion was. Okay, Anders?
Our hypothesis was correct, but the Coke mixed up with Pop Rocks blew up more than the Sprite.
What was your hypothesis?
The Pop Rocks will blow up the balloon, but it won't pop.
Okay, so their hypothesis was it'll blow it up, but it won't pop, and that was correct for their group. We saw it wasn't for some of the other groups, but for this one, it was right. Okay, guys? And then also, they observed that the Coke balloon blew up more. What about this group? You were my Coke group, right?
Yeah.
They were Sprite, your Coke.
Chandler.
Okay, Chandler? Yes, your conclusion. You were right. What were you right about?
That the balloon was filled with gas and the Coke and the Pop Rocks together. And it'll be bigger than the Sprite.
It'll be bigger than the Sprite. So you think the Coke was bigger than the Sprite. What about this group over here, my other Coke group? What was your conclusion?
I put the other group, so it got the largest balloon, so our hypothesis was correct.
So your hypothesis was correct because one of the Coke groups had the bigger balloon, right? What about this group, our final Sprite group? What did you guys find?
I just finished my conclusion.
Okay.
Our hypothesis was right. Coke blew up more than Sprite.
So we all kind of agree as a class, we have consensus that the Coke caused bigger reaction with the Pop Rocks. Is that correct? Everybody agree with that? Why do you think that is?
It's darker.
It's darker, so that could have something to do with it, how the soda's made. Anders?
Maybe the caffeine and sugar.
Caffeine and sugar, their reaction with the Pop Rocks, right? Jay?
Maybe it's because the Coke has different things in it that make it more reactive to. Because it has a darker color and it has different flavors. Maybe that makes it react more.
Because it has different ingredients, different properties, it all reacts differently. And Emerson?
Maybe the carbonation, I guess.
Carbonation. Good. Carbonation can play a role in it too. Why do you think I broke you guys up with 2 Sprites and 2 Cokes? Instead of having a Coke, Sprite, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, why do you think I had 2 groups of each? Caroline?
Because if one popped, then the other group could go over.
Good. So if something happened to one, we still had one that we could test, right? Emerson?
I was going to say maybe the groups would get different results.
The groups could get different results. And why would 2 groups with the same experiment get different results? Does anybody know a word that starts with a B that could have anything to do with that?
Variable?
Variables, good. So, did you guys learn about variables with your science fair?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what is a variable? Somebody tell me. What is a variable? Somebody other than Jake remember? You just answered the last one. Carson, right?
Something that you can change.
Something that can change, right. It can change the results. What were some of the variables that could have affected our experiment that we just did? Chandler?
The balloon pop.
The balloon popped for some. Good. Any other? Ben?
We might have shaken it up more.
You could have shaken it up more. Even if you shook it for the same amount of time, somebody could be a really fast shaker, somebody could be a slower shaker. Anders?
Like, basically what he said, the amount of force used on it.
The amount of force used. Perfect. Anybody else have any ideas? Jake?
Well, maybe
It could have something to do with what's in Jonathan's
maybe how much, I was thinking that maybe the amount of pop rocks they poured. That's
The amount of pop rocks? Because some of us had some spilled, right?
Maybe they spilled.
Some of them spilled.
Maybe like they weren't the same amount in every pack.
Good. Even though packs are supposed to have the same amount, sometimes you might have a couple extra pop rock crystals in this one, a couple extra in this one. You never know. So even though they're supposed to be the same, they might not be. And once we poured it, some group did lose a little bit of pop rocks, which is fine, but it did change the results a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Anything else? Probably, Jonathan, what you have in your hand, just throw it up a little bit and catch it. What could that have had to do with our experiment? For a variable. Why could that have been a variable that changed our ways? Anybody know how that could have changed? What happened with this group's balloon? Anders?
It had too much pressure.
Had too much pressure. No.
I've got another variable.
Okay.
I was thinking where you put the balloon on the soda.
Where? Perfect. In some groups, it was a little bit to the side, so when it blew up, it was still kind of catty corner. It wanted to slip off. But if you had it exactly on the middle, which some groups did, that's what helped the balloon.
Wait, I just thought of another variable too.
Yes.
Ours, I think our group had a little bit of leaking.
There.
So that could be a variable if one accidentally starts to leak.
Perfect. If one starts to leak, you're going to lose coke, you're going to lose some of that gas, and you're also probably going to lose a pop rock or two, right? So that was a different variable. So we all had different kind of things happen in each of our groups. But what was our general conclusion again?
Coke did better.
So we said Coke did better, and we thought that because, what was some of the things we thought it did better? I think Carson Grace had one. It was darker, stronger caffeine, stronger sugars, so different variables play into this. So what did we learn today about when you mix some solids and some liquids?
They react together and they can make a different form of like solid and gases.
They react together and can form a different type of matter. So just because something's a solid, it can become a gas, it can become a liquid. Some. But we learned today that was an experiment. So what do you think would happen if you ate Pop Rocks and drank Coke? What do you think would happen? Emerson?
Gas will fill up inside your stomach and it would kind of expand.
Your stomach would expand a little? So not enough to make you explode.
I don't think so.
Unless you have like this many Pop Rocks.
And then like eventually it would probably wear off.
Good.
You probably wouldn't feel good for a while and your stomach would expand. So
What was something you said before we went outside about what's in your stomach?
acid.
Acid. You have stomach acid, so maybe that's another liquid that's going to react. So it's probably going to react differently. Chandler?
I mean, since gas always goes to the top, it could make you burp.
Perfect. Gas always goes to the top. You could, have to burp afterwards. That's what happens when you get that kind of gas in your stomach, right? Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys so much.